Hi burners. Back in 2017, Fat Burners Only launched an advertising campaign explaining 3 exciting changes that we'd made to Fat Burners Only. The first being we'd improved the website, the second we'd introduced free express shipping, and the third is we'd introduced Afterpay, all things our customers were screaming out for. Now the advertising campaign went relatively viral and we attracted a whole lot of comments from the public. Now most of them were positive, however some of them went along the lines of, why are you still fat if you sell Fat Burners? The guy selling it needs to buy it as well, and shouldn't they be getting fit blokes to do these ads? Now, I was in that ad and those comments were directed at me. Now, I found them relatively funny, although some people might have found them a little bit offensive. For me, it shone a light on a fact that I was at a place fitness-wise that I didn't want to be and I wanted to improve my fitness. So I used these comments as motivation to actually get busy and do something about losing that 10 kilos of body fat that I needed to lose. At the time, I was 83 kilos. Today, I'm 73 kilos and I've hit that 10 kilo loss. And these are the supplements I used along that journey to get me that fat loss that I was looking for. So practicing what I preach, I introduced a supplement regime to help me lose that 10 kilos that I wanted to lose. So I started with a thermogenic fat burner. So these things will increase energy levels, they help me train harder and they burn calories. Now I've got 3 here because I always say to people, mix up your fat burner, keep the body guessing and shop those adrenal glands into new results for pumping out those fat burning hormones like adrenaline, noradrenaline and epinephrine. So what I was doing was I was taking OxyShred, I took Showtime and OptiBurn along with other fat burners along the journey. So I'd take 1 tub and then move to the next, and 1 tub would last me roughly 1 month. So we were burning calories with this. And then I wanted to make sure those calories came from body fat. And so I introduced carnitine into my regime with every fat burner. I would mix the 2 together. And if I was training at night time, I would take carnitine before I trained at night just by itself, because if I took this too late, I wouldn't sleep. So carnitine, what it does is it targets fat for fuel by allowing fat to enter the mitochondria of our cells to be used as energy. So I was burning calories now from body fat, and I really wanted to hit that stomach area, and that's a really hard to move area of fat. It's called adipose fat. So CLA is a natural product derived from the safflower plant. It gets the body to produce an enzyme in relation to this, and that enzyme works like a lock and key and can only fit the lock that is adipose fat on the stomach for guys and the stomach and thighs for girls. So I took this product, it moved my fat from the stomach into the bloodstream where the body then could use it. I then took the Alcar to make sure that that fat was metabolized into the cell, and then my thermogenic fat burner and exercise burnt that body fat. Now, this was my starting regime for targeting body fat on the stomach. I then wanted to make sure I looked after my adrenal cortex. So I was taking a stim product and putting my body through stress of exercise, as well as general stress from my daily work regime, etc. Now, if you're too stressed and your cortisol function isn't working properly, you're not going to sleep so well, you're going to store water and fat around the stomach, and you're going to stress out a lot more easily. So I introduced ATP Sciences QuarterX, which has a lot of beautiful, awesome herbs to make sure your adrenal cortex is working properly and your cortisol production is normalized. So it also helped me sleep as well. And then finally, the protein that I used was ATP Sciences No Way. Now, I personally like this protein because it's a collagen peptide. It's very easy on the digestion. There is no allergens. And this one here has no artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. And the collagen peptides will activate the AMPK pathway, which is a hormonal pathway for increasing fat loss. So it worked in with my current goals. So that was my regime. I used it for about 8 months and I lost my 10 kilos. The most important thing on this table, however, was the water. So I've left this one here on purpose. Now, at the time, I was probably drinking about 1.5 to 2 litres of water a day, and I introduced one of those big 2.2 litre bottles into my daily routine. It made sure that I hit 3 to 3.5 litres of water a day, which would maximise my liver function for burning fat and flush out my lymphatic system to stop holding toxins, which will also switch off my fat burning potential. By drinking that 3 to 3.5 litres of water a day, I was maximising liver function and igniting that fat burning process along with all these subs. So that was how I did it, burners. I hope you got something out of it. If you're looking to start your journey and you need advice particular to your supplements, just hit us up either on Facebook or send us an email and we'll be happy to go through everything with you, or give us a phone call and we'll go through it with you over the phone. Thanks so much for watching, burners. Like I said, I hope you got something out of it. We'll catch you next time. Cheers. And then finally, the protein that I used was No Whey protein.